You ever had one of those moments where the universe just dares you to fight back, and you know deep down, this isn't about the money or even the land. This is about someone trying to write you out of your own story? Yeah, that's pretty much how my so-called retirement started, standing out on 120 dusty acres in New Mexico, thinking I'd finally made it to peace after a lifetime of legal brawls. Let me back up a sec. I spent 2 decades as a property lawyer, most of it fighting folks who never cared about the dirt under their own feet, just the numbers in a ledger. When my grandfather passed, he left behind a stretch of land most folks wouldn't bother to map. Old barns, fields that ran gold at dusk, silence so deep you could hear your own past coming for you. I checked every plat, every deed, every scrap of county paperwork. Made damn sure nobody, no city, no HOA, no smiling developer, had a claim on it. My taxes went straight to the county, grandfathered since the 50s. No loopholes, no associations, just me and what was left of the Miller family dirt. For a year, life tasted like coffee on the porch and goats in the morning. Neighbors half a mile away if you squinted, and the only drama was whether the irrigation line would hold out through July. The lake out east drew the money crowd, a walled-off HOA on the far side, Tuscan-style McMansions, security gates, banners flying like they'd conquered something. But they kept to their beige palaces, and I kept to mine. Then one day, there it was, a letter fat as a tax bill, with a seal I didn't recognize. La Tiara Alta Preserve Homeowners Association. Dear property owner, no greeting, just a fine for $3,500 for fencing violations and visual corridor encroachments. Welcome to the community, apparently. I read it 3 times, then laughed out loud. Just this dry, angry little noise, like being told you owe child support for someone else's kid. Next morning, I didn't call. I showed up in person. Drove to the HOA office in my old truck. Boots shined, blazer pressed like I was headed to court. The office looked like it was designed by someone who thought driftwood was a personality. Receptionist was green, stammered when I told him who I was. Then out walked Karen Duvall. President, pearl necklace, hair that didn't dare move, smile so sharp you'd think she'd just tasted blood. She greeted me like an old friend. Mr. Miller, we've been expecting you. And I stared right back, asked why she was sending me bills for land she didn't own. Oh, but it is part of our preserve now, she said, tilting her head like she was breaking bad news to a child. Claimed they'd redrawn the boundary, filed with the county, even waived a future inclusion document allegedly signed by my dead grandfather. Public hearing? Not in the traditional sense, she said, like that made it less insane. I left before I said something I couldn't take back. Instead, I went straight to the county office. Same woman at the window, Janet, who'd filed my deed years ago. She pulled up my file, pointed to a new map overlay and a yellow document from 1982, supposedly with my grandfather's signature. That's a fake, I said. She squinted, saw the date. George Miller died in '81. Well, hell, she muttered. That's not good. No, Janet, it's not. By the time I got home, my mailbox was jammed with more HOA letters, fresh finds, glossy brochures, invitations to plant flowers with people who'd never set foot in a field. 2 days later, I caught a white SUV idling at the end of my drive. Some guy taking pictures of my barn. Compliance survey, he said. No public easement here. I snapped. He just smirked, so I blocked him in with my truck, got out, told him to leave, took his photo for good measure. If you or anyone from that HOA sets foot here again, I'll have you for trespassing. You know what I mean? Enough was enough. But they didn't stop. The woman at the feed store called, someone from the Community Risk Committee, snooping around about my livestock license. Rumors spread like brush fire. Unpaid taxes, unlicensed equipment, EPA violations. Next thing I know, there's a flyer on my door, full color. Who is Trace Miller? List of bogus complaints. Even a photo of me taken without my knowledge. They were building a narrative, trying to turn the town against me. One morning, a flatbed truck blocked my gate, dropped concrete barriers with the HOA's logo right across my only road. They planted signs, private property, HOA members only. I called the sheriff. He shrugged, said as far as county maps go, my land was in their district now. It's a civil matter, sir. Civil matter? Yeah, I've seen those get ugly. So I called in reinforcements. Tom Grayson, old friend, former federal land surveyor, drone nerd. He showed up that weekend with topo maps, GPS rigs, the whole 9 yards. I reached out to Jane Aguilar, a journalist with a knack for pissing off the right people. Fake HOA tries to steal a farm with a dead man's signature. I emailed. She replied, on my way. Got coffee. We found more than bad paperwork. Tom's drone showed their new map didn't line up with any legal boundary. They'd planted fake property pins, buried metal rods behind my fence, physical evidence of fraud. Jane's digging uncovered other victims, an elderly widow and an Apache vet, both blindsided by the same scam. For a second, I thought maybe, just maybe, I was getting ahead. Then this kid named Zach showed up, claimed he was some kind of AG volunteer, wanted to help. I let him pitch in for a day, kept an eye on him. 2 mornings later, the chicken runs left unlocked, barn ransacked, nothing stolen but everything tossed. That night, a drone buzzed my field. Logo said LTA HOA security. Spy games, right here in New Mexico. Jane's first expose aired online, the HOA that ate the farm. It blew up. Suddenly my inbox was full of landowners sharing similar nightmares. My little fight wasn't just mine anymore. So I built a site, put up drone shots and fake documents, and opened my gates for a farm tour. Press, neighbors, anyone who wanted the truth. Even had a judge's daughter show up, pen and notebook in hand. And then, of course, Karen herself came in a black Escalade. She tried to accuse me, on live stream, of running an unapproved commercial event. I laughed, asked my guests if anyone paid to be here. They shook their heads. Then shove it, Karen. The clip went viral. Half the state's internet cheered. But the next morning, I woke to sirens. 3 sheriff's cars at the bottom of my field, asking about my dangerous ditch. That's when it really hit me. They weren't just after my land. They wanted to rewrite the truth itself. The plot thickened. Jane uncovered evidence of bribery, hush money, and pressure at the county office. Tom's overlays showed the digital maps had been updated, inch by inch, to swallow more land. Karen had been funneling HOA money through shell companies, buying county officials, rewriting boundaries at will. Then came the real escalation, private security with bolt cutters, prowling at night, trying to break into my equipment shed. My trail cams caught everything. The audio picked up direct orders, grabbed the files, and removed the cameras. Jane sent it to the feds. Turns out my little property dispute was now a racketeering case. That week, the feds moved in quiet. Subpoenas landed. County officials were suspended. Forensics proved the inclusion form was printed with an AI font, not even close to the 1980s. Karen's empire crumbled. The whole HOA board resigned except her. So she doubled down, sent in real muscle. Contractors with ATVs, ready to tear up the ditch I'd dug. But I was ready. Motion sensors, cameras, audio streaming straight to the cloud. The minute they set foot on my land, alarms blared, and I confronted them. Rifle slung, but not raised. They backed off. The sheriff and the feds arrived not long after, and that was it. Karen was finished. Her arrest was quiet. No cameras, just a woman in sunglasses as the reality caved in. Charges: fraud, trespass, conspiracy, racketeering. 2 county officials went down with her. In court, my team, bolstered by pro bono land rights lawyers from all over, presented everything. Drone footage, fake signatures, surveillance logs, audio clips. The judge's order was clear. All fines null, all HOA claims erased, all physical barriers removed at their expense, and the HOA itself dissolved. I watched the last of the barricades come down, took a sledgehammer to the concrete myself. Jane made a documentary, Lines in the Dirt, and strangers wrote from everywhere, telling their own stories, thanking me for standing my ground. I even started a nonprofit to help folks like me fight off bogus HOAs and fake boundary grabs. And on my gate, where the ditch once was, I welded a new sign, weatherproof, set in stone. Private land. Not for sale. Not for absorption. Welcome, unless you're HOA. EST 1946. Still here. Now, some folks say I went too far, others say I didn't go far enough. But let me ask you, if someone tried to write you out of your own story, would you just hand them the pen? Or would you dig your heels in, fight for what's yours, and draw a line in the dirt? I know what I chose. So what about you? Where do you draw your line? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Whose side are you on when the fight for land turns into a fight for the truth? And if you've ever tangled with an HOA or watched someone try to steal what you built, let's hear it. Justice isn't quiet, and neither are we.